In the quiet darkness of space, far beyond the stars familiar to Earth, a small signal flashed. It was weak and strange, barely noticeable among the usual cosmic noise. But it was there, a call for help from a world nobody on Earth had ever heard of. Back on Earth, in a large, quiet room filled with glowing screens and blinking lights, a team of scientists worked late into the night. They were part of the Deep Space Listening Station, a place where humans search the universe for signs of life. Tonight, something unusual caught their attention. Dr. Maya Singh, the lead scientist, stared at the signal on her screen. It was different from anything they had ever seen. The pattern was not random. It had a rhythm, like a code. Slowly, she realized this was not a natural signal. Someone or something was trying to send a message. "Get the decoding team here," Maya said quietly. Her voice was calm but full of excitement. Everyone in the room understood what this could mean. For the first time in history, Earth might be hearing from an alien civilization. Within hours, a group of experts gathered around Maya's station. They worked fast, using the most advanced computers and their sharpest minds. The signal was complex, but after many attempts, the code began to make sense. It was a distress call. The message spoke of a terrible danger. The aliens, who called themselves the Zhark, were under attack by a powerful enemy. Their homeworld was in danger of being destroyed. They begged for help. They warned that this enemy was unlike anything seen before. It was fast, strong, and relentless. Maya showed the message to the leaders of Earth. The United Earth Council, made up of the best minds and politicians from all over the world, gathered to discuss the call. The news spread quickly. The whole world watched and waited. Some council members were afraid. They worried this might be a trick, a trap to lure Earth into a dangerous war. Others believed it was a chance to show the strength and kindness of humanity. If Earth helped, it could build friendships with other races and learn new things about the universe. President James Walker stood before the council. His face was serious, but his eyes were full of determination. "This is the moment we've been preparing for," he said. "We can't ignore a call for help no matter how far it comes from. We are humanity. We stand together." After long debates, the council made a bold decision. Earth would send help. A fleet of ships would travel to the Zhark homeworld to offer aid and learn more about this enemy. At the heart of the fleet was the Indomitus, the most advanced warship ever built by humans. It was not just a machine of war, but a symbol of human strength and hope. Its crew was chosen carefully: brave pilots, skilled engineers, and smart commanders ready to face the unknown. Captain Elena Ramirez was the leader of the Indomitus. She had trained her whole life for this moment. Calm and confident, she stood on the bridge of the ship looking at the stars ahead. "We don't know what awaits us," she said softly to her second in command. "But we will not fail. Humanity never does." The journey to the Zhark system was long and filled with tension. The crew of the Indomitus studied every piece of information about their new allies and the enemy they faced. They trained harder than ever, preparing for battle they hoped to avoid, but knew might come. Back on Earth, people followed every update. The signal that started it all was now a symbol of hope. Schools held lessons about the universe. Scientists raced to learn more about alien technology. Artists created works celebrating humanity's courage. In space, as the Indomitus and the fleet approached the distant Zhark world, the first signs of destruction appeared. Planets burned, satellites lay in ruins. The enemy, known only as the Ziran, was as powerful as the message had said. Suddenly, the silence of space was broken, not by words but by the roar of war. The United Earth Council met again in the grand chamber beneath the shining towers of New Geneva, the capital city of a united Earth. Outside the tall glass walls, the sky glowed with the soft light of dawn. Inside, the room was tense and filled, with voices rising and falling like waves. The signal from the distant Zhark world had been studied carefully. The distress message was real. There was no doubt about it. But the council faced a difficult question. Should Earth get involved? In a war so far away, Ambassador Li Wei, A calm and thoughtful man spoke first. The Zhark are asking for our help. If we ignore them, we send a message to the galaxy that humanity will not stand with others in times of crisis. But if we go, we risk war with an enemy we do not understand. Several members nodded, agreeing with the risk. The Ziren, the enemy mentioned in the signal, were unknown to Earth's scientists. They had no clear idea how powerful or dangerous this race really was. The Zhark described the Ziren as merciless and unstoppable, but Earth had no proof yet. Dr. Maya Singh stood to explain the science behind the threat. We have scanned the Zhark system from a distance. There are signs of massive destruction. Large ships with weapons far beyond anything Earth has seen have been detected. The Ziren technology is advanced, but not beyond our reach if we work quickly. The debate grew heated. Some council members argued that Earth should focus on its own problems, climate change, poverty, and political conflicts on their own planet. Why risk everything for an alien race they barely knew? Others reminded the council that humanity's strength was in its courage and willingness to protect the weak. If Earth could save the Zhark, it could also protect itself from future threats. The universe was large and dangerous, and being alone could be deadly. President James Walker listened carefully to every argument. After hours of discussion, he stood and addressed the council with clear eyes and steady voice. History will remember this moment, he said. We are at a crossroads. We can turn away in fear or step forward with courage. The Zhark reached out to us because they believe in the strength of humanity. We will answer their call, not because we seek war, but because we believe in hope, alliance, and peace. The room fell silent. Slowly, the members of the council began to nod. A decision was made. Earth would send a fleet to the Zhark system. It would be a mission of aid and defense, but also a clear message to the galaxy. Humanity was ready to stand against any threat. Back at the space docks, preparations began immediately. The Indomitus, humanity's most powerful warship, was put at the front of the mission. Its sleek design combined speed, firepower, and advanced defense systems. Engineers and scientists worked day and night, upgrading its weapons and shields. Captain Elena Ramirez returned to the Indomitus as the mission commander. She gathered her crew on the main deck. This is not just a battle for the Zhark, she told them. It is a battle for all of us. We represent humanity's hope, strength, and will to survive. We will face a dangerous enemy, but we will do it together, with honor. Her crew listened carefully. They came from many countries and backgrounds, united by one goal. Training sessions became longer and more intense. Pilots practiced dogfights and simulators. Engineers studied alien tech, and soldiers prepared for ground combat. The fleet that would travel to the Zhark system was large but fast. It included support ships, medical vessels, and communication satellites. Every member of the mission understood the importance of what they were about to do. While the fleet prepared, Earth's people watched the news closely. Schools taught children about the vast universe and the courage it took to explore it. Families gathered to send messages of hope and strength to the soldiers. Artists painted murals of stars and spaceships. The whole world held its breath. Meanwhile, scientists worked on decoding the Zhark language and culture. They discovered that the Zhark were a proud warrior race, skilled in combat but desperate after years of fighting the Ziren. They valued honor and loyalty above all else. Dr. Singh found a recording from the Zhark leaders. In it, a voice echoed with hope and fear. "We are not alone," the message said. "We trust you, humans. Help us fight the darkness." The fleet finally launched under the light of a rising sun. Rockets thundered into the sky, breaking the bonds of Earth's atmosphere. The Indomitus led the way, its engines glowing bright. The command room of the Indomitus, Captain Ramirez watched the stars. She felt a mix of fear and excitement. This mission was dangerous, but it was also a chance to show the universe what humanity could do. As the fleet left Earth behind, the crew faced the unknown with steady hearts. They were ready to bring help to an alien race in need and to awaken the unstoppable war machine that was humanity. The journey to the Zhark system was long and full of quiet moments filled with questions and preparation. Captain Elena Ramirez stood on the bridge of the Indomitus, her eyes scanning the endless black space ahead. Her crew worked calmly but with a sharp focus. Each knew this mission was more than a simple rescue. It was the first meeting between humans and a new alien race. As the fleet entered the outer edges of the Zhark star system, sensors picked up signals of activity. The destruction mentioned in the distress call was clear. Debris from destroyed ships floated silently among the stars, glowing softly. Planets once full of life now showed scars of war, craters, fires, and broken cities. "Captain," said Lieutenant Harris, the ship's chief sensor officer, "we are detecting a Zhark vessel approaching. They are responding to our arrival." The screen lit up with the image of a large ship, unlike anything the humans had seen. Its shape was angular and fierce, with bright markings that looked like war paint. The ship moved quickly, showing no fear of the human fleet. "Open a channel," Captain Ramirez ordered. "Let's make sure they know we come in peace." A crackling voice filled the bridge. It was deep and firm, with a language that sounded strange but held a hint of kindness. "This is Commander Varric of the Zhark Defense Fleet," the voice said through the translator. "Humans, you have answered our call. We welcome you, but know this. The enemy you face is ruthless. They leave nothing alive." Captain Ramirez nodded. "We are here to help, Commander Varric. We come as allies, ready to fight alongside you." Communication opened the door for more messages. Soon, representatives from the Zhark joined the human commanders in a virtual meeting room. The room was filled with holograms showing battle maps, enemy movements, and damaged zones. Commander Varric was tall and strong, with skin that shimmered like polished stone. His eyes held the sadness of a warrior who had seen too many battles, but also a flicker of hope. "We fought bravely, but the Zirin are unlike any enemy," he explained. "They are fast, deadly, and have weapons that tear through our defenses. Our warriors fall every day." Dr. Maya Singh joined the meeting through a secure link. "We've studied your technology and hope to combine our knowledge. Together we can develop new defenses and weapons to turn the tide." The Zhark leaders agreed. The next days became a whirlwind of activity. Human engineers worked side by side with Zhark technicians, sharing ideas and plans. Soldiers trained together, learning each other's tactics and customs. Captain Ramirez walked through the Zhark base, amazed at the mixture of ancient traditions and advanced technology. The Zhark honored their history with statues and symbols, but also used machines that could reshape metal or repair ships in hours. One afternoon, Ramirez met with a young Zhark warrior named Kyle. Kyle was eager and curious about humans. "Your gal, people fight with such heart," Kyle said. "But your technology is different. You do not fear the unknown." Ramirez smiled. "We have faced many dangers on Earth, but our greatest strength is that we never give up. We learn and adapt." Their friendship became a symbol of the new alliance. As the days passed, the human and Zhark forces grew closer, united by a common goal. But the threat was never far away. Scouts warned of Zirin ships moving closer to the system's core. The enemy was preparing for another attack, one that could destroy what was left of the Zhark homeworld. Captain Ramirez gathered her officers. "We have little time," she said. "We must prepare our defenses and strike if we want to survive. The Zirin want to end this war quickly, but we will show them humanity's spirit." The fleet moved into position. Human and Zhark ships stood side by side, ready for the fight that would decide the fate of a world and the future of an alliance that could change the galaxy forever. The space around the Zhark homeworld was thick with tension. Both human and Zhark forces worked side by side to prepare for the inevitable battle with the Zirin. Captain Elena Ramirez stood on the bridge of the Indomitus, watching as engineers and technicians rushed to combine their technology. The warships of the Zhark were strong, built for battle, but they lacked the speed and flexibility of human ships. The Indomitus and its fleet brought new ideas: advanced shields, faster engines, and powerful weapons designed on Earth, but tested quickly in the field. Dr. Maya Singh led a team of scientists and engineers from both species. In a large hangar, filled with tools and holographic designs, they worked on a new project: combining the best of human and Zark technology to create something greater than either could build alone. "This is our chance to build a true war machine," Maya said, pointing at a hologram showing a massive ship. "It will be faster, stronger, and smarter. Together, we can create a force the Ziran will never forget." The Zark engineers, proud and skilled, worked alongside human experts. At first, there was mistrust, two very different races trying to build a single weapon. But as ideas were shared and tested, respect grew. Kale, the young Zark warrior, watched the work with wonder. "Your technology is incredible," he said to one of the human engineers. "You think of things we never imagined." The engineer smiled. "And your experience in battle teaches us how to use it well." Slowly, the new war machine took shape. It was a fleet of hybrid ships, each one stronger and faster than before. They had new weapons that fired with great power but also moved with precision. Their shields were nearly impenetrable, tested against the strongest Ziran attacks. Training for the fleet was intense. Human pilots flew alongside Zark warriors in simulators, practicing attacks and defenses. Commanders shared strategies, learning from each other's strengths. Captain Ramirez stood on the training deck, watching her crew and their Zark allies. "We are no longer two separate forces," she told them. "We are one. Our strength is in our unity. This war machine will show the galaxy the power of humanity and the power of friendship." Days passed quickly. The threat of the Ziran grew closer. Scouts reported enemy movements near key planets. The new war machine would soon be tested in battle. The night before the expected attack, the crews gathered in the ship's common areas. Stories were shared, songs were sung, and hope was passed from one person to another. Despite the fear, the spirit of the fleet was strong. Captain Ramirez walked through the halls, stopping to speak with the soldiers and pilots. "Remember why we fight," she said. "We fight to protect the innocent, to defend those who cannot defend themselves. Together we are unstoppable." As the first light of the distant sun touched the warships, alarms began to ring. The Ziran fleet had arrived. From the bridge of the Indomitus, Captain Ramirez saw hundreds of enemy ships emerging from the darkness. They were fast and deadly, their weapons flashing like lightning. "Battle stations," Ramirez ordered. "This is what we trained for. Show them what humanity can do." The fleet moved as one. The new war machine unleashed its power. Beams of energy cut through space, shields held strong against blasts, and pilots flew with skill and bravery. The Ziran fought fiercely. Their numbers were great, and their attacks relentless. But the human Zark fleet was better prepared than the enemy expected. In the heart of the battle, Kale flew alongside Elena. "We fight as one," he shouted over the comms. "For our home, for our future." Together, they led a daring attack on the enemy's command ship. With precision and courage, they broke through its defenses and disabled its weapons. As the command ship fell, the Ziran fleet began to retreat. The war machine had proven itself unstoppable. When the battle ended, the fleet regrouped. Damage was repaired quickly and the crews celebrated their victory, but they knew the war was not over. Captain Ramirez looked out at the stars. "This is only the beginning. But today we showed the galaxy that humanity and the Zark together are a force no enemy can stop." The calm after the first battle was brief. Captain Elena Ramirez and her crew aboard the Indomitus knew that the Ziran would not give up so easily. Their enemy was ruthless, and defeat meant the destruction of the Zark homeworld, and possibly more. Intelligence reports warned of a massive Ziran fleet gathering near the outer edge of the system. The size of this force was unlike anything humanity or the Zark had seen before. It was clear the next battle would decide the fate of the entire star system. On the bridge of the Indomitus, officers gathered around a large holographic display. The glowing map showed the positions of their ships and the incoming enemy fleet. "We face overwhelming odds," Captain Ramirez said quietly, her eyes focused on the enemy's numbers. "But we have one advantage they do not understand: our unity and ability to adapt." Dr. Maya Singh stood beside the captain, her expression serious but hopeful. Our combined technology and tactics can outsmart them. The Xiran are strong, but they are not as flexible as we are. The plan was risky. Instead of waiting for the enemy to attack, the human Jark fleet would take the fight to the Xiran. They would strike first, using their speed and advanced weapons to disrupt the enemy's formation. As the fleet moved out, the crews prepared for the battle of their lives. Pilots checked their ships, soldiers tested their weapons, and engineers monitored the systems. Everyone knew this fight could change the course of the war. The first clash came suddenly. Xiran ships launched from hidden positions, their weapons firing with deadly accuracy. Explosions lit up space as ships from both sides were damaged or destroyed. But the human Jark fleet was ready. They used their new technology to shield their ships and launch fast counterattacks. The Indomitus led the charge, striking at the enemy's supply ships and command vessels. In the heat of battle, Captain Ramirez made quick decisions, guiding her fleet with skill and courage. Her voice was calm but firm over the comms. "Flank their left side," she ordered. "Use the new plasma cannons. Focus on their command ship." Pilots responded with precision. Fighter squads swooped in, dodging enemy fire and striking with deadly accuracy. The plasma cannons fired, piercing the thick armor of the Xiran command ship. Despite heavy damage, the enemy fought back fiercely. Their weapons struck the human and Jark ships, testing their shields and defenses. Amid the chaos, Kale flew his fighter close to the enemy lines. "For our home world," he shouted, firing missiles that exploded near the enemy's rear fleet. The battle was long and brutal. Ships on both sides were lost. The stars themselves seemed to shake from the power of the weapons, but the human Jark alliance held strong. Their ability to adapt quickly to enemy tactics gave them the edge. They used the terrain of space, asteroid, fields, debris clouds, and nebulae to hide and surprise the enemy. In one daring move, the Indomitus executed a risky maneuver, diving through a narrow asteroid belt to attack the Xiran's main forces from behind. The enemy was caught off guard. Captain Ramirez's voice rang out, full of determination. "Now is the time. Push forward. Show them humanity's unstoppable spirit." With combined strength and clever tactics, the fleet broke the enemy's formation. The Xiran command ship was crippled and their fleet began to retreat in disorder. Cheers erupted across the human and Jark ships. The turning battle was won. But Captain Ramirez knew the victory was only the start. "We have shown the galaxy what we can do," she said to her officers. "But the war is far from over. We must stay ready." As the fleet regrouped, Dr. Maya Singh worked on analyzing captured Xiran technology. She hoped to find weaknesses that could end the war faster. Kyle, standing beside Captain Ramirez, looked out at the stars with new hope. "Today we fought as one," he said quietly. "Tomorrow we will finish this." The turning battle had changed everything. Humanity's unstoppable war machine was no longer just a symbol. It was real, and it was ready to protect not only the Jark, but all those who stood against darkness in the galaxy. The stars beyond the Jark system shone brighter as hope returned to the galaxy. After the turning battle, the human Jark fleet was stronger, their alliance firmer, and their resolve unbreakable. But Captain Elena Ramirez knew that the war was not yet over. The enemy, the Xiran, still threatened the peaceful worlds, and the final battle was near. Inside the command center of the Indomitus, the crew prepared for what could be the most important fight of their lives. Repair teams worked swiftly to fix damage from the last battle. Engineers fine-tuned weapons and shields. Soldiers sharpened their skills and steeled their nerves. Captain Ramirez gathered her officers around a glowing holographic map. The image showed the position of the Xiran's last stronghold, a massive fortress hidden deep in a system filled with dangerous asteroid fields and radiation storms. "This is where the war will end," Ramirez said, her voice steady but filled with determination. "The Xiran believe they are untouchable here, protected by their walls and weapons. But they don't know the strength we've built. Humanity's unstoppable war machine." Dr. Maya Singh stepped forward. "We've discovered weaknesses in their defenses from the last battle. Our combined technology can break through their shields. This fortress is not as strong as they believe. Commander Varric, the proud Jark leader, nodded. Our warriors are ready to fight. We will give everything to protect our homeworld and ensure this enemy is destroyed. As the fleet moved into position, the atmosphere was tense but hopeful. Every pilot, soldier, and engineer knew what was at stake. The fate of not only the Jark, but the future of humanity's place in the galaxy depended on this battle. Suddenly, sensors detected the enemy fleet launching from their fortress. The Xiran were prepared, desperate to defend their stronghold. Their ships moved quickly, weapons charging, ready to destroy the invaders. The battle began with a roar of energy weapons and the flash of explosions. The Indomitus led the human Jark fleet forward, pushing through the asteroid fields with expert precision. Pilots flew with fierce determination, dodging enemy fire and striking back with powerful weapons. Captain Ramirez coordinated the attack. From the bridge, her voice calm but commanding. Focus on the shield generators. Without them, their fortress will be vulnerable. Move with speed and precision. The war machine, built from the unity of two great races, unleashed its full power. Advanced weapons fired with deadly accuracy. Shields held strong against waves of enemy attacks. Every ship moved as part of a single unstoppable force. On the ground, Jark warriors fought alongside human soldiers in the shadow of the fortress. The battle was fierce and close, with each side refusing to give up. Kyle, now a respected leader among the Jark, fought bravely beside his human allies. We fight for our future, he said, raising his weapon, for peace and for strength. As the battle raged, Dr. Singh's team worked to hack the fortress's control systems. After tense moments filled with silence and hope, the defenses began to falter. The shield generators flickered, then went dark. Shields down, came the call from the fleet. Captain Ramirez saw her chance. All ships attack, this is our moment. With the fortress exposed, the human Jark fleet poured their firepower into the enemy stronghold. Explosions shook the structure as weapons, tore through walls and defenses. Finally, the fortress began to crumble. The Xiran forces, defeated and broken, retreated into the shadows. As silence returned to the battlefield, the fleet regrouped, battered but victorious. Captain Ramirez stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. Today, we have ended a great threat, she said softly. But more than that, we have built a new future. Back on the Jark homeworld, celebrations began. The people honored their new allies from Earth, grateful for the help that saved their world. Statues were raised, songs were sung, and stories told of the brave humans who answered the call. The United Earth Council received the news with pride and relief. Humanity's role in the war marked a new chapter. Earth was no longer just a planet. Looking up at the stars, it was a rising power in the galaxy, respected and feared by many. Captain Ramirez and her crew returned home as heroes. They carried with them not only tales of battle, but the bonds of friendship that grew from war. The unstoppable war machine was no longer just a weapon. It was a symbol of unity, hope, and strength. In the quiet moments after the war, as the stars shone calm and bright, humanity looked ahead to new adventures. The galaxy was vast and full of mysteries. But one thing was clear: humanity would face the future together, strong and unstoppable.